What's up, THS? I'm Mrs. Smith from the library, and it feels so good to say that again. Welcome back, everybody. To those of you who are new to us and the class of 2025, welcome to THS. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you, but I'm also looking forward to telling you about some great books that are available for you to check out here in our library. Now, since this is our first video of the school year, I'm going to, of course, remind you about all the library policies and show you how to access the library, whether that's in person or online. But that can all wait till the end of the video. What I'm anxious to do right now is tell you about this great book that I read over the summer. This is a sci-fi or speculative fiction novel by Brittney Morris, and it tells the story of two teenage boys who live in Chicago who love hip-hop music and also have to grow up too soon. This is called The Cost of Knowing. The main character in The Cost of Knowing is Alex. He's 16. He works at an ice cream shop. He has a younger brother named Isaiah. They're taken care of by their aunt because they, prior to the events of this story, lost both their parents in a tragic accident. Additionally, Alex also lost his best friend to gun violence. And so the grief that he's processing and carrying with him complicates the daily rhythms of his life, just trying to get through the day as a 16-year-old kid. The other thing that complicates the rhythm of his life are his superpowers, and that's where the sci-fi bent kind of comes into play in this story. So when Alex touches an object, hands a customer at the ice cream store back their debit card, for instance, he has a premonition or like a vision that tells the future of that person as it's related to the object. So for instance, he touches his car door one day to get inside, and he can see the car several years in the future belonging to a different driver, and it's wrecked, totaled, bundled up at the bottom of the lake. These visions obviously kind of get in the way of him trying to accomplish his tasks each day. And there's a vision that really gets in the way of that when he has a premonition of his younger brother Isaiah's upcoming funeral. The Cost of Knowing was written by Brittney Morris, and she also wrote Slay, which was a national bestseller that was on our Battle of the Books list from last year. So if you read and enjoyed that, this will probably be right up your alley too. As far as the genre and style, this is a young adult fiction novel, so it's a made-up story written for readers your age. It's science fiction or speculative fiction, and I do like to differentiate between the two. With speculative fiction, like in this book, we're not necessarily building an entirely new world with like weird rules for you to learn. It's the world that we're familiar with, that we would recognize as we read it in a story, but like with maybe one or two things kind of tweaked to that sci-fi bend. The big ideas that we're dealing with in this book are obviously family, sibling relationships, and the responsibility that comes along with that. And then we get into some heavy lifting with like social justice issues and race, and the concept of Black boy joy, which is just the idea that young Black men should be able to go about their lives relatively carefree, just like everybody else can. The challenge meter for this one. So if you think of an easy, lighthearted book as kind of like Sour Patch Kids or candy for your brain, and then like a more challenging college prep SAT vocabulary book, like a steak dinner, where you will have to sit down and maybe set the table and chew for a little while, I'd say The Cost of Knowing comes in at a happy medium. So this should be an accessible read for most of you out there. It's a medium-sized book, a little over 300 pages, but nothing too difficult as far as the material. What's hard about this book is the emotional response that it elicits, and it's kind of tense. It's very tight. Like I said, I read this all in one read, so it's just like it's suspenseful, and it's also pulling at your heartstrings. I would recommend The Cost of Knowing to readers who liked Slay, to readers who liked The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, Dear Martin. It's very similar to that. Actually, this book is very similar in theme to The Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds, which obviously is one of my favorites. If you're new to us this year, this may be the first time that you hear me talk about this book, but it won't be the last. So if you liked those books, if you're a sibling, if you like hip hop music, The Cost of Knowing would be a great choice for you. And in the next few minutes, I will show you how to access that book through our library website, or how to come down and see me and check it out in person yourself. So hopefully we are getting back into the swing of things, and you all know how to fill out an e-hall pass to get wherever you're going in the building. To come visit me in the library, it's the same rules, the same process applies. The teacher whose class you are in that time period, will approve or deny, hopefully approve, your e-hall pass. And once that takes place, you are free to come down and see me. What you'll want to do when you arrive at the library is let me know that you have an e-hall pass so that I can clear it. And then you're free to browse the library and find the book that you need. Obviously, I'm here to help you. And if you're looking for The Cost of Knowing, those will be right outside my office door on the new book cart. Now, I know some of you really like the online library option and just like filling out the Google request form and telling me what book you want to read. I really like that too. So I'm leaving that infrastructure in place for this year. And some of you have already figured out how to navigate it. I've brought books to some of you freshmen. I haven't even told you about the online library yet. So if you go to our library website, the link is in every email that I've ever sent you, including this one. It is on the screen now, and it is also available in self-service on your MacBooks. But the main web page should be pretty easy to navigate, and you're going to be looking for like one of three things. The first is to go to the catalog, which will take you to the Destiny Discover website. That will show you every book that we have down here in our library, and also show you whether it's available or checked out. You can use Destiny, that's your long number, short number credentials, to log in and place a hold on the book there. If you already know the title of the book that you want to read and you want to just get right to it, or you're like, actually, I want to read the book that you talked about in this video, I would recommend using the Google request form. It's like the quickest option. You'll fill out the form and tell me what book you'd like, and I'll figure out where to find you and bring it to you in class. Usually there's like a scratch and sniff bookmark and some candy involved, but you know, no promises. And then the other thing that you can do on the website is just browse some recommendations. So I have some quick slides about books that are new to us. You can watch the book talk videos from last year. If you remember a book I talked about last year but you never got to it, you can go back and view the archive. And hopefully there's some tools on there that will help you find a book that you love. And so I will be looking forward to seeing you, whether that's down here in the library or I'm bringing a book to your classroom. Please feel free to reach out to me in person or via email with any questions that you have that are library related. And I am looking forward to telling you about some more great books available in our library throughout the rest of the year. That's all for now. Take care. Bye-bye.
See up in the limousine, hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack, Mr. Magic Molly Mall. I let my tape rock till my tape pop.